Welcome to the waiting room for Star Wars Outlaws, the WoW expansion, and Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Yes. Hopefully nothing gets delayed. Well, it's too.
I don't think any of those three things are getting delayed,
Warhammer already got delayed, so
technically.
should be good. Well then,
I prefer not to think about that.
yeah. Are they coming out? Well, when's Star Wars coming out?
Soon TM. I don't remember the exact date, but soon.
Look that
Specs
up.
came out,
Yep. Okay.
so we should be pushing pretty soon here. I think it's September is what they, if I remember correctly, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
He's been quoted.
God.
This is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Like,
Nate played F1 Manager.
oh, F1 Manager. How was it? Was it everything you hoped it was?
It's simple enough that I think anybody can do it.
Okay.
Like anybody can play it. I think it's simple enough that anybody can do it. It's hard enough at the same time where like I don't know what I should be doing in certain circumstances. Partially because I gave myself a challenge on purpose.
Okay.
But like when I joke, haha, Football Manager, it's like, yeah, if you don't want that, do not go into it. It's a whole thing. But if you want F1 Manager and you're just like, oh, I just like the idea of having like almost like a simplified, race experience or whatever, you can have a more in-depth one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did is I created a team. So I pulled an Andretti and I increased the size of the field, essentially.
Okay.
Because I didn't replace one that was there. I just got added on. And I didn't poach any active F1 drivers.
Okay.
So I took a guy from F2 and maybe another. I might have taken two guys from F2, which I think is a mistake. I think I should have stolen somebody or purposely like picked somebody else. But I was like, I want this idea of like being kind of. I want it to be difficult, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to just auto be finishing in the top two.
Okay.
So they were 80 and 79 or something overalls.
Okay.
Which for reference, like Yuki is an 84 or something like that, maybe.
Oh, so they're not far off.
No. But I think that's right about him. I don't 100% remember now. And then I picked just random like race engineers for each each seat, whatever, and irrelevant of whether or not they were like the same country as the driver or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's no like that I saw. There weren't anything like styles
Mm-hmm.
to be like, oh, they're an aggressive driver, so she should have an aggressive race engineer or anything. I didn't see anything like that, so I was just like, all right, we're just gonna grab these two and pair them and whatever. And I picked all of them as their overalls about the same as like the drivers, so there's not just a bunch of 90 plus crew members with bad drivers,
Yeah.
Gave myself a good budget and just trying to like do things. And it's like I had one race we DNF'd fully because they both crashed their cars, had to retire.
Okay.
I've had them finish 11th.
That's not bad.
I think is my highest finish so far with them.
It's not bad.
Qualifying as hell.
Okay.
I've only, I think, gotten to one Q3.
Which honestly in itself is impressive.
But like in between races is where I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, what do you do between races?
Right.
Because you can't like...
So they're like, you can research parts.
Okay, makes sense.
And, design whatever and like what you want designed, and then you have your allocated amount of time that you can spend on things and whatever. And so you can do those orders. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at to know what I want yet.
Okay.
And they're like, well, we're going up to... Did we just do the Australian Grand Prix? we're either going to the Australian Grand Prix or we just did it. I don't remember. And they're like, oh, well, it does really well at these things. Like this course is a really good high speed, whatever.
Yeah, like high speed corners, low speed corners,
right?
everything,
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you want a car that does really well in this, and I'm like, I can't change this on the fly.
Yeah.
Because that's not how it works. So it's like, do I need to just manufacture? Because I can't manufacture a part in a week. That just doesn't happen. With the setup that I have, like I don't have the facility that is good enough.
Okay, yeah.
To just make a part in a week. So I have to be almost like looking a month in advance of when I think I need the part. And then
you're on like the Haas upgrade schedule where it's like you might be able to put a package together
3 weeks too late.
Yes, like maybe twice a year.
Yeah. So there's just a few things where I'm like, what the fuck? And like my one driver is much better than my other one.
Okay.
And the other one has just crashed out, gotten in fights. And I'm just like,
Jesus.
what the fuck? I'm bad with tires.
Like
choosing when to hit and manipulate and what to start with and whatever.
Listen, just undercut everyone all the time. Just like, all right, undercut.
I mean, that is, in some races, that is my thing where I'm like, if I just get in a lap early, I can make this all back up.
Yeah.
But if I get in the lap late, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And so there are definitely some, like, just kind of learning with it and trying to figure it out. And that's kind of been one of my...
How does the budget work? Like, do you have to do sponsorships and stuff?
So you get sponsorships.
Okay.
And then your sponsorships have money is broken up by upfront, performance bonuses, and maybe like I know there's a thing for events. I don't remember if that's in the amount of money they give you though. So they'll be like, we'll give you a $2 million or whatever, sponsorship. 90% of it is up front. That extra 200,000 or whatever is based on how you finish.
Okay.
Or, we'll give you 2 million up front and there are no performance things. But then they have like these events, so it's factory tour, whatever, driver interviews, drivers in a commercial, you're doing something, your engineers are doing a breakdown on the car, like stuff like that. And each one of them, if it involves things like that, have an effect on that person that had to go do that, essentially. So it's like, crew fatigue, driver fatigue, whatever, going into a race.
Yeah, like some sort of debuff.
So I always pick the least impactful things because I have guys that cannot handle having not 100% themselves.
Interesting.
So it's different.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's different. I skip through practice usually. I'll just sim that for the most part. I'll sim because you can sim it by session. So I'll set up the car and the whatever and try to, think what we need, sim it, get the results back, tweak, sim it, tweak, sim it. Because I'm just like, I don't need to tell you guys what to do on the laps in practice. Just the race engineer will handle it. Then when we get to qualifying, I have simmed qualifying before and I'm just like, I'm so annoyed right now. I don't want to look at this. And so I just sim qualifying and see whatever happens. But then there's time, I'll sit through qualifying and play the game of like, do I need to go out and try to slam a lap right now?
Yeah.
And can I get away with this? And then I usually do that. I've not simmed a race yet.
Okay. Weather is how they handle to do weather?
Yeah, there's rain. I have intermediates and wets.
All right.
I had to put intermediates on at one point.
Uh-huh.
Only one so far though.
Yeah.
And that was not at the start of the race, and that was playing the game. Everybody going, when do we go in? 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 And then the first 5 people pit, and you're going, fuck!
Yeah, I got missed it.
But none of my cars have never been next to each other. So
you never had to make the call of like who pits?
Right. I get to just completely sacrifice somebody, and I'm like, first car, get your stuff. You're going with the front group. I don't care where we are, how far away from them we are. Get your shit and get on there. Back car, you're staying out. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, that's great.
I very much have a favorite child and then somebody else that I just kind of picked up.
Yeah. You got to clear number one.
Right, yeah. So it's been fun.
Interesting. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those where it'll hold me over until Football Manager comes out, and then I'll be addicted to that.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
engine, new everything, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like,
Yeah. It's interesting, but it's no Football Manager.
right, exactly.
New
Yeah,
engine this year is right.
What's the whistle? Yeah, Football Manager, new engine, new everything, and they've
Oh my God, I can't believe it's been that long already.
they've started slowly.
I remember when
talking-
we did the news article about like that they
Go to
were getting
Unity?
a new engine and that like they were kind of doing like a throwaway year to make room for.
Yeah, they're going to Unity now.
Yeah.
They started showing off like some features and like what they're not anything that they couldn't do before, as far as
Mhm.
I'm concerned. They're showing like UI things and like how they're gonna evaluate things or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I need to see the match engine. And the UI, I like the look of the new UI,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to see the match engine.
Yeah.
And hopefully it all is good and it's all happy. But the Premier League just started.
Okay.
Today was the first game. Manchester United versus Fulham. Man U won 1-0. Go team.
Okay.
They were the only one today. Then a bunch of games tomorrow, a bunch of games Sunday, then one
Yeah.
game something. Monday.
What time was that game?
3:00 this afternoon.
Okay.
So 8:00 for them.
Yeah, makes sense. I was just curious. I have coworkers who watch, so I'm curious, like how
When
that
they-
affected my.
When did you start having problems around 3 p.m.?
Well, it's trying to rush through phone calls or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
The timing adds up.
That sounds right. So yeah, that was the opening of that. But now that that's there, now the itch is turning
Mm-hmm.
because Kenny and I have been texting.
Yeah.
As transfers and everything, and
Mm.
we're basically going to be the Dave Chappelle skit pretty soon if y'all get any more of that Football Manager. So
Good stuff.
still so gassy.
It happens to the best of us. You feeling odds or evens? No new releases this week, I'm assuming.
No, that's why we're in the waiting room. I'm gonna go evens.
Okay.
'Cause I just did a lot of talking.
Yeah. Kicking it off at number 1, Riot Games has reorganized its leadership in its esports and entertainment segments. Current esports president John Needham has been appointed president of publishing and esports and will, quote, create new integrated experiences, end quote, that will combine its esports, music, and creative publishing sectors. Needham was hired as managing director of Europe in 2017 and has since held various leading roles. Prior to Riot, he was head of European publishing at Lionhead and CEO of Cryptic Studios. The 2 new studios have been set up to run Riot's TV, film, and development efforts, including an animation studio run by creative director Christian Link and a live-action studio led by Chief Content Officer Brian Wright. Link joined Riot in 2010 as a data analyst before becoming a composer on League of Legends in 2011, and then the creator and showrunner of Arcane in 2015. What a wild trajectory that dude's had.
There's a level where at trivia, like icebreakers, I
Mhm.
guess not trivia, but like icebreakers, that's just got to be he's the asshole. You're never gonna guess my career path here. Nice to meet you, new hire. Can you guess my career path? I started once where you were as a data analyst, and then I was the composer. What? Oh, and then I led Arcane. What? How does this work?
How do you go from data analyst to composer? And then from composer to showrunner of like a wildly successful
Mhm.
anime.
And then chief content officer.
Yep. Wright was appointed chief content officer in 2021 following 7 years at Netflix as vice president of family content. See, that one makes sense.
Yeah, that one makes a little more sense.
Well, good for that one dude.
Yeah.
He's clearly
He's
doing something right.
doing what he likes.
Yep. And
It
they
sounds
just
like.
opened a fucking studio for him. So
Because it very much sounds like I'm a data analyst, but I really like music, so I'm going to see if they have anything for me in this. They're like, yeah, we got a composer spot for you. Oh, perfect. Oh, I'm going to write your most successful show ever.
I appreciate though that they clearly like someone saw his talent and like was like, all right, yeah, we'll give him a shot.
That makes us money. We
And
should
then
leverage
like
that.
he's delivered, and then they're like, you know what? Get this guy a fucking studio.
Hey, if I gave you a little bit more money, what could you do for me?
Yeah.
Number
Amazing.
2, H2M is a mod for Modern Warfare Remastered that was set to be released on Friday and
Which is
promised
today.
a refreshed take on the multiplayer portion of the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The mod was set to feature over 50 maps and would also include an updated progression system as well as new attachments and camos that weren't featured in the original game mode. Modern Warfare 2's original suite of kill streaks were also being included as part of the mod. However, in a short statement posted on X just 5 hours after posting a trailer hyping it up in a release, the mod's creators have announced that the release has been canceled. Quote, in case anybody doesn't see where this is going. Come on now. Quote, today our team members received a cease and desist order on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the H2M mod project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations immediately and permanently, end quote. The mod, which was to require the base game of Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, was gathering so much attention that it made it as high as 4th on the Steam charts. Sources within Activision have said that the H2M mod received a cease and desist because Activision were afraid that the success of the mod would impact Black Ops 6 sales.
Damn.
That's how you know you made a good mod.
Yeah. Got too good for your own. Got too big for your own good.
You know it's good when Activision looks at it and goes, our multi-million-dollar game, the new one, is impacted by a bunch of you freeloaders.
I appreciate their attempt though to be like, oh, you have to own the base game for the mod.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll be all right. We'll sneak under the radar, and everyone's like, this looks fucking good.
What if we just slide to the left?
All right, we got a few new publishers this week. Fifen, a U.S.-based film and TV production company, is breaking into the video game sector with a new publishing business. Fifen Games' debut title will be Ruffy. I was going to say Roofy, but I was like, they don't want that. Ruffy in the Riverside, a quirky 3D puzzle platformer by German developer Zachrates Labs. This title enables players to swap textures of any object in the game. Owlcat Games has signed 2 RPGs by Emotion Spark Studio and Another Angle Games to its new publishing division. In a statement, Owlcat said that as well as its own development efforts, it's now also committed to helping independent teams across the globe introduce their own RPGs and narrative-driven games. As part of the new service, Owlcat will provide new partners developing RPG games all the services, funding, and expert advice they need. Owlcat has also assumed control of Meta Publishing, which published Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. Wrath of the Righteous. My goodness, having trouble today. On PC and console back in 2021. With a distinct strategy of its own, Meta will focus on gameplay-first titles with co-op multiplayer features. And to be clear, that's a separate Meta.
It's a different Meta. Not the one that pisses
the Facebook
$4
Meta.
billion away.
$4.5 billion.
Oh.
On just AR and VR. Online games platform Arcadium. I'll get it, guys. We'll get there. Has launched a publishing service for browser games. Arcadium has established a new $1 million fund which will provide developers financial support and resources. As part of the announcement, the company also revealed a partnership with Sony Pictures Entertainment to release Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the official game. It has also revealed 6 more titles under its new publishing arm, including Categories and Room Escape by Article 19, Element Blocks and Zoo Boom by Fimobi, Multiplayer Chess Online by Funi, and Radella by Dylan Caper. What a just group of names that was.
Yeah. You got the names this time.
There might be more later. We'll see.
What? Hopefully they're yours. So yeah, a lot of publishers doing things. Number 4. AntStream Arcade is coming to PlayStation, making it the first third-party cloud gaming service on the platform. Announced during AntStream's August 2024 Connection presentation, the retro game service will be available on PlayStation 4 and 5. It will cost $40 for an annual pass or $100 for a lifetime subscription, with an official launch date to be announced in the coming weeks. AntStream also announced that PlayStation 1 Net Yorozi, games will be coming to the platform, and that Pico 8 developers will be able to submit games to be included on the service, with Puzzles of the Paladin and Man Bomber to soon be added. AntStream Arcade launched on Xbox in July 2023 and is also available on the Epic Game Store, iOS, Android, PC, Mac, Samsung TVs, Nvidia Shield, Amazon Fire TV, and Atari VCS, and your Tesla car, and whatever else you could fit it on. Your watch, fuck it.
Toaster.
Samsung fridge.
It's classic.
Can it run Skyrim? It can run this.
What a world we live in these days. Number 5. PUBG publisher Krafton has acquired Tango Gameworks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP from Xbox as part of a strategic agreement. The firm says it is working with Xbox to enable a smooth transition so that the Tango team will continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. In case you forgot, Tango Gameworks was one of 4 Bethesda studios that Microsoft announced plans to shut down back in May. Krafton said that the acquisition will have no impact on the availability of Tango's previous releases, and they will remain available where they are currently. No details on the transaction were shared.
Interesting.
Yep. Strategic partnership.
Not who I would have pictured.
Same.
But good that they did get picked up and can keep going. Because Microsoft fucked that up.
They did. Although Microsoft's weird because they are like, out of all of the companies that closes studios, and like, they are the most willing to like allow it to exist somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They will sell it or let the people like, buy themselves out or whatever the case may be.
Hey,
They're like,
we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
But like in a mutual breakup way.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I want you to still thrive, not with me.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. From like a business perspective, like it's a weird it's a weird approach. It's almost like an underhanded, like, prove me wrong.
Yeah. I'll buy you back when you're worth more.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, I can reacquire you. I can find you.
You're never totally free.
I'm always in the background. Just working one day and you just see Phil Spencer outside a window looking in. Yeah. Good. Like, what's wrong with you, Phil? Anyway, number 6. How about some random game announcements? Arc series publisher Snail Games has announced their latest project, a new open universe AAA title named For the Stars. This space-themed sandbox survival game implores you to explore several diverse worlds and research technologies while using a customizable spacecraft. Players will get to battle space pirates and other creatures across the planets. You can play in a persistent multiplayer universe where you must establish a base and expand your outposts across the cosmos while working to survive and conquer the hostile biomes surrounding you. That sound like a add-on to something else we already play a lot of?
It does.
Indie. Why did I even bother acknowledging that there are subheadings? Indie game studio Empty Vessel has announced its first project. It's a game titled Defect, an immersive multiplayer cyberpunk squad shooter. The game claims to be a highly tactical combat experience for fans of the action shooter genre. It takes place in a futuristic city ruled by an AI system that divides the people across the city. Not only are there AI systems trying to rule the city, but ruthless and angry gangs are fighting back against rogue law enforcement, with both trying to claim power in the city. The old typical Mexican standoff, a little 1v1v1.
Mm-hmm.
Saber Interactive has teamed up with Twirlbound to assist them in making their second game, The Nightling. The Nightling is shaping to be a fantasy action-adventure game released on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch in 2025. This game has players stepping into the shoes of a knight in training where you get to quest, explore, and participate in combat and platforming in a semi-open world. The Nightling is set on a grand quest to find Sir Lionstone, his mentor and protector of the realm named Classia. To keep himself alive, safe, not just alive, safe, he wields a gigantic magical shield that will aid him on his journey to try and find his mentor before it's too late. Dun, dun, dun.
Yet more games. Spring Loaded, the developer behind Let's Build a Zoo, has revealed its next project, Let's Build a Dungeon. The game is a
They pivoted so fast.
Yeah, hard pivot. This game is a multi-layered management sim in which players not only run a development studio, but also manage the creation of an MMORPG. Players initially recruit and manage development staff, including artists, programmers, planners, to create assets and game mechanics. Development schedules, ad campaigns, and press relationships have to be managed, and decisions have to be made regarding game delays and sacrificing the original vision for fan requests. Players can also actually develop the games themselves, creating quests, towns, monsters, and dungeons in an attempt to attract more players. They can then jump into the game to ban troublemakers to keep the game community positive, as well as the management sim aspect. Let's Build a Dungeon also includes a creative mode, which is an open sandbox. Here, players can create their own RPGs and are free to write their own stories, create dialogue and cutscenes, draw their own characters, and adjust the gameplay mechanics. They can then play their game, share it online, or play other players' games via a built-in game browser. Let's Build a Dungeon will be released on PC and Xbox.
So I initially was joking on it, but I'm intrigued.
Sounds interesting.
There's enough where I'm like, I'd download it. Let's see what's up.
Polish developer The Farm 51 announced Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone, an open-world sequel to their survival horror game released in 2021. Chernobylite 2 is set to launch at some point next year. It sounds like the first game, but more. The developer claims the sequel will feature an advanced melee combat system in addition to a diverse arsenal of firearms. Stealth or calling on others for help are other options available. Each of the main character's buddies is a potential teacher ready to share their knowledge and skills.
Still one of the cool games of how they made it.
Mm-hmm. It looked good.
Yeah, I remember I have it in my Steam library playing through it, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. This is Chernobyl because they did photorealistic shoots in Chernobyl.
Yeah. And then finally, Sega and 2 Point Studios have announced the third game in the 2 Point series, 2 Point Museum. The game, which has no release date but will be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series, tasks players with creating their own museum and puts them in charge of acquiring and displaying its exhibits.
I can see that one being fun.
Yeah, apparently there's like a map and you gotta like find relics and artifacts to display and stuff.
I could also 100% see like a fake Indiana Jones character walking around and doing the whole. They love to have that. They had basically a Freddie Mercury joke and the hospital one. So there's a bunch of times where they just do a little tongue-in-cheek fun.
Yeah, they have fun with it.
Of course they do. Time for the rumor roundup. Tokyo security analyst Hideki Yasuda said in a new report that the Nintendo Switch 2 should be released in the first half of the year for $500. Assassin's Creed Shadows is supposedly coming to Nintendo Switch 2 alongside ports of the previous entries in the series like Valhalla and Odyssey. Red Dead Redemption may finally be coming to PC. Wario64 noticed a PlayStation Store page that includes the following description. Experience the epic Western adventures that defined a generation, now on PC for the first time ever. According to rumors circulating online, Forza Horizon 5 will be the next former Xbox console exclusive to release on PS5. Other rumors have suggested that the next one is going to actually be Microsoft Flight Simulator. CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, has teased the next Borderlands game again, dunking on how shit their movie was.
Yep. We'll hit on that later.
The Witcher 4 will feature the return of Geralt, but according to the character's voice actor, he won't be the star. Doug Cockles said, quote, "We know that Geralt will be part of the game, we just don't know how much. The game won't focus on Geralt, so it's not about him this time. We don't know who it's about. I'm excited to find out," end quote. Yeah, we basically knew it wasn't going to be Geralt because it's not a wolf in the image, and yeah, it'd be a shame to not at least run into him.
Yeah.
Even just in a hearing about him type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you're like that other Witcher, huh? The one that's got all the white hair.
Who?
Ah, he was here years ago. I didn't realize there were two more. Reset Era poster Nate Drake has stated that Final Fantasy 16 is coming to Xbox. Microsoft have approached Epic about putting Fortnite on their upcoming App Store.
There it is. I think I'm going to sneeze. Am I going to sneeze? Gonna do the old nose pinch. Don't sneeze, nose.
Nose pinch?
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
I just like fucking.
I just let fate happen.
Fate.
Whatever it is. If you need me to take over halfway through this because I realize it's 20 some odd items long, let me know.
We'll see how far we make it. All right. First up, Jeff Keighley has confirmed that Gamescom opening night live will include new game announcements.
From who, Jeff?
We don't know. Dragon Age The Valguard is set to launch on October 31st. The game's standard edition will be priced at $70 on PS5 and Xbox Series, $60 on PC. Deluxe edition is $90 on console and $80 on PC, and it contains mostly cosmetics. There's a collector's edition called Rook's Coffer Edition for $220 with a bunch of crap in it. Alien Rogue Incursion has received a December 18th release date. Announced earlier this year, the single-player action horror game is coming to PSVR 2, Steam VR, and MetaQuest 3. The Epic Game Store has finally launched on mobile platforms. Users will find it worldwide on Android and in Europe on iOS. Obsidian Entertainment CEO Fergus Urquhart said he would love to do a Shadowrun game and would definitely make a New Vegas 2.
Both intriguing.
Yes. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was hit with a delay and will now launch on February 11th, 2025. Just inventing fucking dates over here.
I like that your brain read the 11th and then what? September. Clearly.
Yeah.
No, they're famous 11th.
I was thinking about September 11th today for some reason. As I was walking into work. It was weird. It was a weird day.
It was, because that's the second time that you also said you were dissecting. Oh my god, I can't remember what music video it was now.
Oh, it was what was it?
It was an old one too.
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember the lady and one of them was wearing like a green velvet dress. The other one was in like a red velvet dress. Dancing Queen?
Yeah, it was ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dancing Queen. And you going, yeah, I watched this the other day. And then now you've just brought up 9/11. I just don't understand.
Know what's going on. North Beach Games has announced the opening of a new studio in Prague and development of Stranded Deep 2. Adam Boyes is leaving Iron Galaxy after 8 years with the developer. Boyes became CEO of the studio in June of 2016, having previously held leadership roles at PlayStation, Capcom, Midway Games, and Electronic Arts. GenVid's Silent Hill Ascension has won the award for Outstanding Innovation in Emerging Media Programming at the 76th Creative Arts Emmy Awards. Ascension was developed in Unreal Engine utilizing the platform's MetaHuman creator. Black Nut Cloud Gaming has announced a new distribution agreement with Ubisoft. Starting from this month, quote, a series of Ubisoft offerings will join Black Nut's platform, which allows players to access over 500 plus premium games via streaming under a single subscription with no lock-in contract. Game publisher Reforged Studios has acquired Ground Shatter and Extra Mile Studios. Ground Shatter is the developer behind roguelike deck builder Fights in Tight Spaces. Extra Mile Studios is known for providing co-developer services on Revolution Software's Broken Sword series.
I actually know Fights in Tight Spaces.
Have heard of it, so
yeah, it's an interesting one. You're in, believe it or not, tight spaces. And
amazing.
They like give you, I can't remember if it's like 5 or you can gain more. I think like cards, and then that whatever card you play is how your next like move. It's a very interesting like
concept,
kind of puzzle type thing to get through.
Okay. Valve has confirmed SteamOS support is coming to the Asus ROG Ally and other third-party handhelds. Valve also confirmed that progress has been made for dual boot support, with Windows drivers being prepped for Steam Deck OLED. Embracer Group has released its financial results for the first quarter of its fiscal year, with net sales dropping 24% year-on-year to $754 million. PC and console games suffered a 34% decline due to comparisons with calendar Q2 2023, when PlayOn released the best-selling Dead Island 2. So, they had some bad matchups, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
TerraTech developer Payload Studios has announced a wave of layoffs affecting 25% of its workforce. Amazon Video is reportedly developing a new adult animated anthology series based on video games called Secret Level. According to Deadline sources, the team behind Amazon's Love, Death, and Robots series has also signed up to create original short stories set within the world of beloved video games such as Amazon Games' New World, Spelunky, and unspecified PlayStation titles.
They really said beloved video games and listed ones that are liked, but I don't know about beloved.
Yeah, that's what happened there. Intel has sold its 1.2 million share stake in British semiconductor company ARM. Intel reportedly raised an estimated $146 million from the sale. Baldur's Gate 3 has won the award for Best Game or Interactive Work at the Hugo Awards. It's the second video game in history to do so, the first being Hades, because they just added the category. VR studio Archiac is closing down. Archiac was formed in 2013 and positioned itself as a pioneer in VR, dedicated to the development of immersive reality games, including Doom 3 VR Edition, Journey to Foundation, and Marvel Dimension of Heroes and Evasion. Keyword Studios has acquired Wushu Studios for an undisclosed sum. The Liverpool-based studio was founded in 2017 and provides work-for-hire services to publishers and developers. Wushu has worked on games including Baldur's Gate 3, Fall Guys, Forza Horizon 5, The Ascent, and State of Decay 2. Pretty good resume. Nacon has delayed Terminator Survivors to 2025. Didn't even know that was a game coming out. Apparently it's open. No, what was it? Multiplayer? Survival game? It was a survival game. Makes sense. Called Survivors.
Yeah. I would have almost pictured like isometric, like Dead by Daylight, but it's Terminator.
That'd be cool.
Or AVP.
Rachel Lillis, perhaps best known for her talents in bringing Jessie, Misty, and Jigglypuff to life in Pokemon, has died, age 55.
That was a random one to see.
Yeah. Boss Team Games, the publisher behind 2022's Evil Dead the Game, has teamed up with John Carpenter to make 2 new horror games based on Carpenter's horror series Halloween. The Borderlands movie made a global box office total of $16.5 million during its opening weekend.
That's fucking terrible.
That's terrible. The film had a production budget of $115 million alongside marketing and distribution costs of $30 million. Big ol' flop.
Oh boy, that ain't happening again.
In an attempt to reduce the increasingly large download size of Call of Duty games, Warzone is being officially separated from premium Call of Duty games.
Good idea.
Yep. Actress Caitlin Dever, who will portray Abby in the second season of The Last of Us, required extra security while filming.
Because people are shitty.
Yep. All Nippon Airways has collaborated with a Pokemon company to create the world's first in-flight safety video featuring Pokemon. Amazing. Leave it to Japan, you know? Adam Williams, who joined Quantic Dream in 2015, posted a message on his LinkedIn page announcing that he has left the studio and has founded his own. Williams was the lead writer on Detroit Become Human, and he's also the lead writer on Star Wars Eclipse. The game that's never going to come out.
Yeah, I was going to say that's still real.
Yeah.
I was also the lead. I was the head coach of a fake baseball team that was about to be in the major leagues, but just never happened.
That's pretty close.
That's how my entire resume looks. A lot of things where I was almost there. Almost.
WWE superstar Randy Orton says he's played Elden Ring for around 600 hours.
Out of nowhere, man.
And that's it.
I'm going to hit you with that RKO. Out of nowhere. In Elden Ring.
That's what I was going to say. That's what he's doing in Elden Ring.
Yeah, he's just diving off a cliff, fucking RKOing bosses. He's so awesome if that's true.
That would be.
So yeah, it's been whole 7 days. What you been up to?
Not a whole lot.
Cool.
Working. Watching anime when I can. Sleeping. Watch anime when I can, because generally by the time I sit down, it's like 8:30. Actually, it's later than 8:30. It's usually like 9, and I'm like, I got an episode or 2 in me, and then that's it. Then it's getting ready, doing all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's like I got an episode or 2 in me. Never mind, it was only 1. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, it's only 1. I got to set up a coffee maker. Got to do all that bullshit. Then I go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. There's definitely been that of. All right, cool. I got home. All right, I want to do some things, but this couch looks real comfy. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, I mean, nothing really going on.
Cool.
Birthday party this weekend for the little guy.
Party on.
That's all I got. What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. Chilling, villain, waiting,
Prepping for the war within.
prepping, cleaning those bags.
Mhm.
Got to go in with a clear mind.
Yeah.
Clear bags.
Yes.
One causes another. Ooh,
Does this crafting material bring me joy?
No. Do I need it in the next expansion? Nope.
Nope. Gone.
See you later. Consumables, keep those because I'm just going to eat them as I go.
Yeah. They'll go away on its own.
Exactly. Gear, why did I have this? This is not going to mean anything when I hit deleted.
Oof. Tough customer over here.
There's most of my characters are, I think actually all of them are all fully cleaned up. And only the druid has the most amount of stuff in his bags, but that's because he has the most amount of consumables and everything else in his bags.
I thought it was going to be like, because I don't plan on playing him because he's broken or something.
Oh, no, he's terrible. Like, it's bad. Boomkin looks real fucking bad. But he will be the first one I play still.
Maybe you'll get lucky, and that means he'll just get a huge buff at some point.
I mean, that's one can dream.
Yes.
Finally watched the Mario movie.
Okay.
Watched The Outlaw Johnny Black.
Oh,
I say I watched it. I believe I fell asleep in the middle of it, so I need to watch it again because
Okay.
I clearly missed a large chunk. So when
All
I woke
right.
up, I was like, I
What
missed something.
happened?
Um,
I didn't even realize that came out.
yeah, it is still very them, but I think Black Dynamite's better from the parts that I caught.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Super Mario was good.
Hmm.
It's good for what it was. Man, did they just make some jumps around to just kind of get to points.
Yeah.
Like, we got to hit things. Eventually, Donkey Kong's got to show up. We got to find a way to just get here and then get out.
Hmm.
And so, there's a lot of just like,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's just a cartoon movie. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yep. The Luigi's Mansion's the most random fucking thing.
Yeah.
Just like, and he looks at it for long. I'm like, all right, man, is that the next one? Is that the
Right.
next
And I
movie?
just like, I don't. Yeah. So finally watched that and started watching the first season of the animated Batman on Prime.
Okay.
The new one.
Yeah. That's the one that looks like the 90s one.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
It's good. It's Batman.
Yeah.
It very evokes that feeling.
I don't know what it is, but it's weird seeing like that and then like the X-Men cartoon.
Yes.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What era are we in here?
Yeah. The Batman stuff is good. And I'm just kind of, it's like, I'm probably halfway through or maybe only 4 episodes in or something like that. I'm just like, yep, it was good. Enjoy this. But now we're into Premier League and my soccer time is going nuts. Pretty soon, we're soccer time now. Next week is War Within launch. The week after that is football kickoff. So then I'm in fantasy draft land.
Mm-hmm.
And then kickoff of that. And then there's my Sundays. There's my weekends. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Time goes on.
It does. It's going to be busy.
Yeah, it is. All right, then. Well, I got nothing else. You?
Nope.
Cool. See you in 7. Bye-bye.